What is going on, guys? Judo Sloth here and welcome to another strategy guide, this time for Town Hall 9, and we are looking at the GoBoLaLoon strategy. Now this strategy is super strong at the moment and will help you get them 3 stars at Town Hall 9. It does use bowlers in the clan castle, so I apologise for you guys that don't have higher level clanmates to donate you them bowlers. Depending on the base design, you may be able to substitute in Valkyries, but this strategy tends to work from getting the bowlers into the core of the base, using a rage spell and wiping out some of the air defense. So what do you want to look for in terms of a base layout? You want to be able to take out the enemy clan castle troops, the enemy archer queen, and ideally 2 to 3 air defense as part of that initial army. I do have some raids on some anti 3-star layouts coming up, but I'm using this first layout as a typical example which is screaming out for this style of attack. You can see all of the defenses on the back end, which would be targeting the balloons, are within range of the air defenses. So the air defense that are left standing, where we will send the lava hounds to, will attract the fire of all of these defenses, giving our balloons a much easier time on the back end. Not to mention, with this base layout, it's quite easy to take out the clan castle, archer queen, and 2 of the air defense. So before we try and break down this strategy into a few simple steps, let's first cover troop composition. Now this strategy is quite flexible depending on the base design and getting them key objectives to start with. However, in general, you're going to want bowlers in the clan castle, 2 golems in order to tank to get them initial objectives, with 5 wizards to help alongside the bowlers and your heroes in getting that, 2 lava hounds for the back end, and approximately 14 balloons. All of these numbers can vary very slightly depending on what objectives you're taking out at the start. Can you get 2 or 3 air defense? How many point defenses are you going to need to target on the back end? However, because I always try and simplify things in my guides, I do like to give you a troop composition to start with, and then you can adapt from there. To top up your army, you're going to want a couple of troops in order to help with cleanup, goblins, archers. For spells, 2 rage, 1 jump, 1 heal, 1 poison, and 1 haste, but please do adapt that judging on the base layout. I will show you a couple of different examples on different layouts, but with all of that out the way, let's get into the first raid and show you this base getting 3-starred. Starting out the attack, we've lured the clan castle. This is optional. You can get away with killing the troops mid-raid, but always an option to lure if it is easy enough. Therefore, step 1 of the GoBoLaLoon strategy is going to be to create your funnel. We're going to skim over this on the first replay, but we will dive into the different steps a bit deeper in the raids coming up. Step 2 is to provide access to the core. This is by using wall breakers on the outside layers and a jump spell to access the middle. Step 3 is to bring in your kill squad. This is your queen, king, and bowlers. Step 4 is to rage and heal the core. You will want to use the rage spell first to power your kill squad forward, take down them objectives, and the bowlers under rage absolutely wreck defenses. You can be confident in taking down them air defense, tearing up the core, and then you can use a heal to bring them back up to full health. That also helps them to get out the other side of the core. And then step 5 is to lava loon the back end defenses. You will want to move around the base either clockwise or counterclockwise depending on the position of the air sweepers. You can see on this one we're moving around the base anti-clockwise, cutting in the lava hounds, and then as the defenses are shooting at the hounds, you can surgically drop in just a couple of balloons on each one, targeting the archer towers, wizard towers, anything which will shoot the air troops first. That will allow the balloons to almost close in from every angle. The balloons do massive amounts of damage. You don't need a lot of them on each defense. Just 1 or 2 will take them down in a couple of hits. The last thing you want is your balloons clumping up together, because wizard towers can take them down easily, and it's also not very good for time and cleanup. And that is the very final stage where you want to bring in the rest of them troops. Goblins are often good if you've used them to make up the numbers, as they do double damage on resource style buildings. Any wizards, anything like that that you have left over, in order to take down the rest of the trash buildings and wrap up the 3-star attack. In its simplified form, that is the stages of the GoBoLaLoon strategy. Now let's take a look at a few different layouts and go a little bit deeper into them stages. So step 1 here, we're creating the funnel. Effective use of a couple of goblins in order to essentially take some free buildings out. Golems then come forward to distract the defences along with a couple of wizards behind. You can see how all of the trash buildings on this side of the map have been taken out. Step 2 in accessing the core has begun by using wall breakers to break open that initial layer, and we've already moved on to step 3 in terms of bringing in that kill squad. The king has came in alongside the queen and the bowlers. The jump spell was also used to provide access further into the base, and then the rage spell, as in step 4, has been used to power the bowlers forward. Notice the poison spell on the clan castle troops as well. We did take them out mid-raid, and you'll notice how everything's moving forward. 2 air defense are down, enemy archer queens down, and the clan castle troops. We can then start bringing in the balloons on the back end for step 5. So a lava hound has been cut in from the west side along with the balloons surgically deployed onto the defences. Haste spell was effectively used in order to push them forward. We've even used a rage spell at this stage on the back end. It all depends on how many defences you're taking out with the balloons versus how many defences you're taking out with the bowlers as to whether you want to use that second rage spell in the core or not. So the 2 lava hounds help to tank that area of heavy defences on the west side of the base, whilst all of them balloons came in alongside the haste and the rage spell to push them through. That worked out quite nicely because the rage spell pushed the balloons all the way over to the other air defence. Then they've just had to take out a couple of archer towers. The lava pups from the lava hounds, when they burst, act as amazing cleanup troops. So you can see at this stage we're literally just cleaning up the raid, and another very successful GoBoLaLoon attack. Moving on to this next one, another very typical layout that you would want to hit with this style of strategy. Then I'll show you another anti 3-star base. So step 1, we're creating the funnel again. This is almost identical to that first raid we seen. Golem in first along with the wizards, really taking the time and being patient to effectively create that funnel. If you start from either side of the map, so you can see we're coming from the northwest side. Starting the wizards from the west and the north, they then close in the buildings from either side, so you can bring the archer queen in quite early. The buildings on either side of her have been taken out, so she'll just move straight forward. Step 2, we've provided access to the core, or at least into the base where we can take out them objectives. Wall break is not needed on this one. The kill squad is then in. King, queen and bowlers coming straight through the middle. Poison spell on them castle troops, do not forget that. Rage spell helps to really power everything forward, taking out them air defense, the air sweeper as well, and that rage spell is also very important in helping to get them castle troops down to help protect your bowlers. Very important you keep them alive. That's where the heal spell then comes in as well. And then step 5 has begun, bringing in the lava loon portion on the opposite side of the base. Anti-clockwise again on this one to avoid that air sweeper. We brought in the balloons first on this one because the defences at the southwest were distracted against the bowlers, so we could bring the balloons in and then cut the lava hound in after that, further around in that anti-clockwise circle. The second rage spell was not needed on the bowlers in the core. It was used on the balloons at the back end to take out both of them wizard towers, and then there was also a clump of defences where the archer tower and a couple of Teslas were. A haste spell is then used further around to take out the very last wizard tower as the balloons have started to clump together. Did also have a balloon at the back there as well that could also be used to come in to distract that back wizard tower. So as your big clump of balloons, if they have started meeting up together, is moving towards the wizard tower, trying to bring in that last balloon or last couple of balloons that you have in order to attract the fire from the wizard tower first and protect your big group of balloons. That means that instead of doing splash damage on a large group of balloons, a single balloon is taking all the fire, allowing the group to come forward and take it out. In this case, a haste spell was used to minimise the effect, but then back end wizard towers are something you have to take into account. Clearly you want to try and surgically deploy the balloons around them so they don't even clump, and that also helps with cleanup and effectively taking down the base quicker. But it can happen as you move around the circle, they just do end up clumping up. so that's why it is important to try and keep 1 or 2 for the very end of the raid. Moving into the next raid, although I've tried to break the strategy down into different stages, this is a good example of how quickly them stages happen and also how they interlink with each other. So the funnel is getting created, access to the core has started with the wall breakers, the kill squad is already coming in, poison on the clan castle troops as well as a rage to help take them down. The jump spell then provides access to the next layer of compartments where the bowlers are then able to move forward with the king and queen to take down them air defences. They'll slowly move through this entire portion and it will mean that they've taken out 3 air defence, the enemy archer queen and the enemy clan castle troops, then allowing us to bring in step 5, the lava loon portion, in this case just to that final channel of defences. So you can see how quickly the first initial stages can happen depending on the layout and also how they interlink with each other. So I've tried to break it down, but for example, accessing the core, you may save your jump spell until a little bit later, so you might bring in step 3, the kill squad, before you actually put the jump spell down, and they do obviously interlink, but I've tried to break it down to help simplify the strategy, help you absorb it a bit easier and add it to your own gameplay. For the final part of this raid, the attacker decided to bring 3 haste spells and drop one of the rage spells. So on that area where he was fighting the air sweeper, we had 2 haste spells with 2 lava hounds, and then for the couple of remaining defences down at the very south, a haste spell was used to power just the couple of balloons he had over the top of them, and that was more than enough to take them straight down. Just look at how many balloons are left over at the end of the raid. That is how effective this strategy is, especially if you break it down, you take out them key objectives first and then you're bringing the lava hounds in to protect the balloons. They can almost take out the defences without even being touched. So another great 3-star, and let's move on to another example with a tricky layout. Hopefully at this point you've kind of honed in on the different stages. I'll show you this attack and then a one with a bit of a lower level Town Hall 9, because this can be used when you're first going into Town Hall 9 as well. I know it requires bowlers in the clan castle, but as long as you've got that, this is an attack strategy that certainly works throughout Town Hall 9. So we're creating the funnel at the very north here, providing access into this initial compartment where the Archer Queen is situated. Notice how we use a poison spell on the Archer Queen to help slow her down, and then the clan castle troops also move into that poison. The kill squad is in alongside the rage spell to help take them down, help take the Archer Queen down. The jump spell then nicely provides access to them 2 air defense and the town hall, and you can see at this point in the raid that from the first 4 steps of the attack, the objectives that we need to take down have been taken down. So we have 2 air defense, the enemy clan castle, and the enemy Archer Queen. Step 5 in that of the lava loon portion is then started on the back end. So the 2 lava hounds are cut in from different angles towards the air defense. That allows them to tank more defenses, but also set off some of the air traps so they're not hitting your balloons. So 1 lava hound came in from the east. Straight away we had balloons coming in behind that lava hound, so we're not wasting time with a haste spell. And then once they were deployed, the next lava hound came in the southeast, so that we were moving around this time the clockwise circle. It's important that as the lava hounds are on that first air defense, you're only bringing in the balloons within that area that's been tanked for. As they close in on them defenses and then take down the air defense, the lava hounds will move across to the next air defense and therefore attract the fire of the defenses in that region. As soon as them defenses are then attracted to the lava hounds, that's when you can bring in the balloons in that area. So it's important that you don't bring in the balloons too early, that you wait until the lava hounds move across to the second air defense, and then as you see the defenses lock onto the lava hound, you know that it's then free to bring in the balloons. Don't wait, bring them straight in, but their defenses need to be tanked by the lava hound. Obviously, if you do happen to get 3 air defense or even 4 down with your bowlers, then you don't have to worry about that. We'll make this the last raid of the video then, otherwise we could just go on forever. Hopefully the stages of the attack are kind of sinking in for you. Now it's time to go and give it a practice. It's the same thing as I always say, this isn't going to work overnight. If you've never done this attack or this style of attack, you will have to practice it. You're not going to pull it off every time. With that being said, any further tips that you have, please drop them in the comments below, or any further questions that you have, please drop them in the comments below as well, and me or other viewers will try and help you out. So in summary, step 1 for the GoBoLaLoon strategy is to create your funnel. You're then providing access to the core for step 2. This is via wall breakers for the outside layers and a jump spell into the center. Your kill squad then consists of your king, queen and bowlers to come straight into the middle. They're going to take out the clan castle troops, the enemy archer queen, and you're aiming for really 2 to 3 air defences. Step 4 is that you're going to use your rage spell to help push them through the clan castle troops and to them air defences. A heal spell will help to keep your bowlers alive, and a second rage spell will either help to push them right through the core depending on the base design, or you can use that with the lava loon portion, which is step 5 on the back end. Also remember, as you saw in a couple of the raids there, the troop numbers and spells definitely do adapt them depending on the base design. Sometimes you don't need the heal spell, you may choose to take more haste spells or rage spell. Please just adapt it on the base design, but that is a good starting block for you in terms of a recommended army composition, and then you can tweak this as you get more used to the strategy. Don't forget that you need some extra troops to help with cleanup as well, but that wraps it up for this strategy guide video. I hope you guys found it useful. Make sure to comment me with the hashtag GoBoLaLoon if you made it right to the end of the video. But that wraps it up for this one. Make sure to subscribe for more strategy guides. I've been your host Judo Sloth, and until next time, peace out guys. Stay tuned for more Clash of Clans.